friends, welcome to TalentSprint. I'm here to share your daily dose for the SBI PO examination. And in this video, we're going to spend time looking at how to improve your score when it comes to the English language section. Let's get to it. Number one, know your questions first. Right? I think it's important for us to be aware of what sort of questions we can expect when it comes to the examination. Right? Now, having looked at previous year's questions, more or less, we have a fair idea of what the standard questions were. Right? One, jumble sentence, 5 marks there. Close passage, 5 blanks, 5 marks there. Fill in the blanks. Again, it was double blanks. Sometimes you can also expect single blanks. So that's another 5 questions, 5 marks there. And then we had spot the error, right? 5 questions, 5 marks. That's 20 marks already. And then we had reading comprehension, a long passage with 10 questions, 10 marks. So that's our 30 questions with 30 marks. Now there is a possibility where you can have a close passage with 10 blanks and a reading comprehension being a short passage with just 5 questions, right? There is also a possibility where there need not be a jumble sentence at all, and it could be replaced with a question type like phrase substitution, which is nothing but sentence improvement, another variation to spot the error, right? So as much as we are prepared for these question types, there's no harm in also preparing for new question types, right? In case we have a surprise and there's a completely new sort of question in the examination, we should still be able to answer it and attempt it, right? So knowing what sort of questions definitely helps us plan and prepare better. So now that we have a fair idea of these are the possible questions that we can expect in the exam, let's move to our next category. Number 2, learn and practice basic concepts. Let's look at specific question types. If you take spot the error or sentence improvement or phrase substitution, now these sort of questions, you'll have to have good knowledge on basic grammar, right? So subject-verb agreement rules, rules pertaining to maybe common prepositions and conjunctions, right? Collocations, like certain collocations with respect to verb plus preposition collocations, especially very helpful when it comes to spotting the error, right? Things like object to or obliged to or imposing on, entrusted to. These are all verb plus preposition collocations, and we know these words will go with these words only, associated words, right? Akin to, right? So this sort of knowledge on associated words will definitely help in spot the error. Close passage and fill in the blanks also, collocations play a very crucial role, right? So we saw verb plus preposition collocations, which will help in spot the error. For fill in the blanks and close passage, there are other collocations. There are different types of collocations, by the way, right? You have adjective plus noun collocations, vested interests, faintest idea, right? You also have noun plus noun collocations, matter of choice, round of applause. So a good knowledge on collocations is going to be helpful in more than one question type and answering or selecting the right answer option. What about other question types? Now, synonyms and antonyms questions, right? Vocabulary plays a key role. In fact, I would say vocabulary is something that is very basic, because this is something that we will apply in almost all the question types when it comes to the English language, right? When I say vocabulary, collocations is part of vocabulary. Knowledge on meanings of common prefixes and suffixes will be very helpful, and root words will be very helpful, right? When it comes to synonyms and antonyms questions. Idioms and phrases, that's another concept that you need to be familiar with, right? Idioms and phrases will prove beneficial for selecting the right answer option for question types like fill in the blanks, close passage, and even finding errors, or also in helping us understand context in reading comprehension. What I would suggest you do is keep a reference guide, right, containing all the rules pertaining to spot the error. You can have a list of collocations or a list of root words or prefixes, suffixes and their meanings, or a list of idioms and phrases. So you can every day kind of spend time, going through this list. It'll help in better retention, and you'll be able to recollect it at the time of the examination, and it's going to prove beneficial for you to select the right answer option. Number 3, balance time and performance. Very, 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 very important, right? I would say top priority, especially when you're working with time, right? 100 questions in just 1 hour. And you can't afford to spend the exact number of time per question, right? For the English language section, it's 30 questions, which doesn't mean you have to be taking 30 minutes. 1 minute per question will never work in this case, right? A test a day will draw you closer to your dream pay. Let me repeat that. A test a day will draw you closer to your dream pay, which means I want you to take time on a daily basis and practice. Take a test, right? Take a test, whether it's for 15 minutes or 20 minutes or half an hour, but take a test, right? So especially for the English language section, how I want you to prepare is, it's 30 questions. You cannot prepare in such a way saying 30 questions half an hour. No, that's the wrong approach. 30 questions, work with half the time, right? 30 questions, 15 minutes. So whenever you attempt the test, your goal should be to complete 30 questions in 15 minutes. How do you go about doing that? Start with what you know and the question type that you're confident of. Now let's quickly analyze the advantage of doing this. One, you know how you're performing with respect to time, right? If there is only 15 minutes and I need to finish 30 questions, in 15 minutes, how many questions am I getting right? Right? That's the first thing. The second thing is, now that you know this is the question type which is posing a challenge, you can focus on that question type and plan your strategy accordingly, right? Your preparation strategy can be maybe spending more time on that specific question type which is a challenge, right? For each of us, our challenging question type is different. For some of us, it's closed passage. For some of us, it's finding errors. For some of us, it's jumbled sentence. For some of us, it's reading comprehension. Now, especially when it comes to reading comprehension, I want to leave you with some tips, alright? The first thing is, of course, you need to work on your reading fluency, which is speed plus comprehension. What's your average words per minute, right? How many words are you able to read in a minute? So if it's a long passage, that will be for 950 words, which means if I'm saying an average reader can read up to 250 to 300, you're not an average reader because this is not an average exam, right? And this is a highly competitive exam, which means you need to be reading at 350 to 400 words per minute. If that is your goal, a 950 word count passage, you should be able to read within 3 minutes, right? So imagine the amount of speed and accuracy that is needed for you to read at that pace and also understand what you're reading at the same time. It's not a joke, right? This is something that you consciously need to focus and do. So a little bit of focused reading is extremely important. Now I'll tell you why I'm spending so much time only on reading comprehension, because if it's a long passage, that's the question type that has the highest weightage, 10 marks. Right? So it's extremely important for you to focus on your reading fluency, speed, comprehension. How fast can I read and how much can I understand of what I read? So start there, right? You have time. Time is in your favor right now. So if you start today and if you say, okay, I will spend about 10 minutes or 15 minutes on a daily basis improving my reading fluency, it will pay off in the long run. Right? That's one. Another strategy that you can apply is completing the vocabulary questions first, right? Attempt those first. Without reading the passage, you might be familiar with some words already. So, attempt those questions, 3 synonyms, 2 antonyms, get 5 marks there. The third strategy that you can apply is following the question sequence. Now, usually, if you notice, right, the first 2 questions will be in and around the first 2 or 3 paragraphs. Sometimes you can also have the answer to the first question in the last paragraph, but predominantly this is the pattern. Now 10 questions, last 5 questions are vocabulary. So in the first 5 questions, let's say the 5th question would ideally fall around somewhere in the last paragraph. So this is something that I would not advise to follow strictly, but this is something that you can look out for, right? It's a pattern that is usually there. You can give it a try. Now the other thing is, you can also quickly answer questions based on inference. When I say inference, I'm talking about questions like what is the tone of the author? What is the overall theme of the passage? What is the most appropriate title for this passage? Things like that. You can just focus on the topic sentence, which is the first sentence in each paragraph, and the closing sentence in each paragraph, right? When you focus on these, you will get an idea, you'll get the gist of what the whole passage is about. That can also help you in answering inference-based questions, right? So this is just reading comprehension that we saw, but in my upcoming videos, I'm going to share a detailed approach and plan for specific question types. Well, that's all we have for this video. Don't forget to subscribe to our channel. I will see you guys with yet another tip very soon. Until then, stay focused.
Ever wondered what successful students do that you don't? What is the secret behind their success in these highly competitive exams? What is that one thing which can help you crack these competitive exams? Well, the most certain answer for this question is the approach that you have for solving various questions in your aptitude exams. I'm sure most of you feel that even I can answer this question, but what is the reason that I'm left behind? Well, the difference between a winner and the others is that others know how to answer the question, but winners know how to answer the question in a smart way.
So whatever I am going to share with you in today's session is a practical suggestion, which means it's doable, which means this is something that you can actually go ahead and plan and, come up with a strategy in terms of how to go about approaching the English language itself, be it any exam, right? Not specific to any particular exam. I'm just going to address how to look at the English language section itself in terms of irrespective of whichever exam it is, right?